Welcome to the Summer Transformation Challenge. I am very, very excited to have you guys here. And thank you so much for showing up for yourself and for moi. So we will begin. Did you guys get a chance to print your workbooks by chance? The first part of what we are going to talk about is our outer world, right? So this is everything that's going on in the world outside of ourselves. And these are kind of where our theta brain wave states are. And the outer world has like a higher frequency. And so basically it's associated with being alert. It's being aware of what's going on around you. It's your decision-making skills and your problem solving. So the goal is to actually get to a place where you're not letting your outer world and everything that's going on around you affect your inner world. And so your inner world is where you have a little bit more of these alpha brainwave states, okay? This is where they are slower. It's like right when you wake up in the morning, it's when you're meditating, and they're associated with relaxation, calmness, and introspection. So what you want to, the thing here is introspection is so, so powerful. You want to get to a place where that outer world is not, you're not allowing it to affect you internally. You're not allowing it to change your emotions, your reactions, and all that. So what we're going to talk about here is we are going to be talking about how to like retrain the subconscious mind. So we have two parts of the subconscious mind, and 95% of what we do every single day is controlled by the subconscious mind, which is so scary to think that you have this, almost like another piece of you that's controlling your actions, whereas only 5% is your conscious mind that's like, okay, this is what I'm doing today, these are what I'm going to do. The subconscious is kind of back here and controlling your actions. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to meditate for about 5 minutes, and we are going to talk about how to get a little bit more into our inner world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a clock for 5 minutes, and we are going to focus on our breath. And it's going to be a silent meditation, which is hard for some people. And 5 minutes, I don't think is a very long amount of time, but for some people, it is a really, really long time. So I'm going to start a timer for 5 minutes, and we will just sit with our breath. So close your eyes and sit with your breath for 5 minutes. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Right, that is 5 minutes. So it is on your worksheet to write down how you're feeling after this. Some people meditate all the time, and some people have a really, really hard time, even with the couple of minutes that we just did, right? So whenever you are meditating, you can do a guided meditation, which is very, very often what I do. You can look up on Apple Music or Spotify different meditations, anything that's going to keep your brain as quiet as possible. So you just have to figure out what works best for you. And this is one of the best ways to slow down and not let your outer world affect your inner world as much. All right, we talked about the subconscious mind and conscious mind. So basically the whole idea behind the subconscious conscious, we're talking about our mind and how we operate, right? So what we really want to do to be able to become the people that we want to become is we want to create new neural pathways. So basically what happens when you're a kid is your trauma is stored in the subconscious, right? Every single little thing, good or bad, that has ever happened to you is stored in your subconscious mind. So that 95% of what's going on in your day to day is literally your past experiences. And that's what's controlling most of the choices that you make in your life. So that's what we want to change. We have to figure out new ways to do this. So a lot of times these are actually stored in the body as pain. So if you have pain in your body in certain areas, this is typically some sort of subconscious pattern that has been stored, and it's kind of telling you like, hey, you need to do something about this. And if it's hurting in a certain place more often than not, then that's what it's trying to tell you. Your body is trying to tell you something. Our bodies, our brains, everything about our bodies is so smart and trying to tell you, okay, we need some healing. We need to do some work around this. So what another piece of this is making new decisions. And even if that is just driving a different way to work, walking a different way when you go walking, maybe it's even just walking at all, maybe it's creating a new some sort of new pattern in your life is going to retrain those old patterns. And the really, really cool thing about our brains is that it doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. So everything that's happened in the past is obviously in the past, right? But then everything that's happening currently, your brain doesn't know the difference. So when we sit here and we think about all that stuff and it brings up emotions within us, our brains literally think that's why flight, fight, or freeze is so prevalent in most people's lives. That's how they're operating all the time because you're thinking about the past and it's in your current state making you anxious or depressed or whatever it may be. And so your brain literally thinks that those events are happening now. So part of retraining the subconscious is helping us make sure that those past memories feel a little bit better. So as an adult, you can actually retrain your brain to not think of the past as a negative thing. You can actually I do a lot of inner child healing work, and you can actually go back and talk to your younger self and reparent yourself. So that way, when you're an adult, you were basically got the feelings that you needed as a kid, that feeling safe, loved, seen, and heard. And then as an adult, it literally like affects your reality and how you react to different circumstances in life. So your emotions can literally change, and you can look at your past as being, okay, this is what happened. And then look at all the positive things, right? Or reparent yourself so they feel more positive. And then you can be more present, and then we can make our futures better. So that's another way, is like our future visions. We do a lot of envisioning exercises in Dreamscape. And basically what we do is we're going to do an envisioning exercise at the end of this today. So you'll be able to see what it is. But we're picturing our future and we're picturing how we want to show up. We're celebrating ourselves and we're seeing how we want to feel, right? Most people want to feel peace, freedom, bliss, happiness, all the things, right? Well, what you do is you picture that in the future, and your brain, again, doesn't know the difference between that it's happening now or it's actually happening in the future. So our brains are very, very cool in the way that we can actually retrain them and heal them, is what was really, really neat from different past traumas, which in turn heals our body as well. All right, so these are a few different ways that I suggest to calm the mind, retrain the subconscious, so quieting the mind. Number one, meditation has been one of the most important things in my entire life. It has helped me not get stuck in that monkey mind, so it's called, where you're just thinking, 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 thinking. And that's where most people have a really hard time meditating. And what I always tell them is when you're meditating, obviously be still, and you want it to be as quiet as possible. And what you want to do is you want to, if there's a thought that comes in, just let it go out. Don't sit and stew on it. Just kind of look at it almost like a cloud above you, and you see that thought, and then you just kind of let it go. See a thought, let it go. That is going to be the best way to be able to focus, or kind of focus on the breath like we were earlier. Maybe even do some like a breath work meditation. There are hundreds, well, thousands of meditations that you can find on YouTube, and just figure out what works best for you. Even if it is 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. I always say this saying that, if you can't meditate for 15 minutes, then you should probably meditate for an hour. So, um, being present in the now. So important to realize that everything is perfect in this very moment, right? This is like what I see in this picture with her reading a book, in this beautiful lake in the mountains. That is amazing to me. I'm obviously not there right now, but there is nothing wrong in my environment in this very moment. So that's what I liked, is just picturing everything being so perfect with me right now. Not focusing on the past and not focusing so much on the future. And then conscious awareness, like that is what we are doing here, right? We're becoming aware. We're becoming aware of our actions. We're becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and everything that is going on internally and externally with our body. But conscious awareness is an internal exercise, figuring out what's going on with you, since you cannot control how other people act. But if you do want somebody else to act differently, the best way to do that is to change how you act, change your reactions. And you can just hope and pray that they might change a little bit as well. Their reaction to you probably will change. So just really becoming aware of what you're doing. And another word for this would be like emotional intelligence. Number 4, crushing limiting beliefs. So whenever you have limiting beliefs, they are always because of a trauma that happened when you were a kid. And nobody's parents are perfect. So there was no way for us to feel seen, loved, heard, and safe all the time. It is literally an impossibility that anybody is raised in an absolutely perfect house, much less how most of us were raised, which is not even close to that. So the whole idea here is figuring out what your limiting beliefs are, and then changing them into something that actually is true, and then showing evidence of the truth behind that limiting belief, right? So the whole idea of, say, the most common one, not feeling like you're enough. Okay, so you would write that down, not feeling like I'm enough. And then you could write down, okay, well, what shows me I am enough? Okay, I've created this, I've done this, I've done this, all the different things that you can celebrate in your life. And then writing down how you can prove it, right? How do you know that you're enough? Because God created you, because he made you perfectly in his image. And that is enough proof for me that my creator created me just like him. So it's like, okay, figuring out what the limiting belief is, figuring out the, like, celebrating yourself, and basically like throwing that belief in the trash, right? And then knowing that you were created perfectly just completely crushes that limiting belief. So we have different exercises where we go through this in all of our different courses. Limiting beliefs are exactly what's going to be holding any of us back. And growth. So that is reading, listening to podcasts. I always say that I'm actually a little bit addicted to growth. I think it has kept me in a place of feeling like I'm always going forward. I'm always moving, and I'm always getting better. And so sometimes I actually have to slow myself down and just enjoy life, and know that I'm growing in different ways, right? When I'm exercising, I'm growing. When I'm listening to a podcast, I'm growing. When I'm working, I'm growing. When I'm talking to you guys, I'm growing. We're all growing together. So just embracing that a little bit more, and not feeling so much like I have to do. All right. Number 6 is focusing on what you want. So the more you focus on what you want, the faster it's going to come into your life. If you focus on what you don't want, then guess what's going to happen? Exactly what you don't want. So whenever you are thinking or planning out for your future, always be focusing on what you want, and don't ever use any of like the negative words. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want I don't want an unhappy family, right? We always want to turn that around and say, I am financially free, right? And if it doesn't feel like, because I mean, I don't know very many people that are financially free, and that is one thing I am definitely working on. And it's like, if you don't feel that, then it's probably not going to feel so good. So maybe kind of bring that back down a little bit. And that says, I have everything I need right now. You know, that my subconscious can't argue with that. If you are doing affirmations that your subconscious will kind of argue with and kind of be like, nope, that's not true, then you might want to change them to something that feels really good in your body. And those are the things, the more you focus on that, right? It's still focusing on what you want, then the faster your life is going to change and turn around. And the better you're going to feel during that process. Number 7 is discipline. So this is one of the hardest things, I think, as humans as well, especially if you have a family. It is really hard to get your kids everywhere they need to go. If you own a business, it's really hard to wear all the hats and still have your discipline when it comes to nutrition, exercise, journaling, meditation, whatever it is that you're wanting to do every day. It's like, celebrate the days that you do have discipline, and then the days that you don't have discipline, just give yourself a little bit of grace and don't be so hard on yourself. I've definitely learned that the hard way. Number 8 is gratitude. I think whenever you can sit in gratitude, the odds of you being worried about anything are really slim. And I think I was actually just having this conversation with my son last night. It's like, every time you sit in gratitude, you can think of that as like a prayer, and a prayer to whoever you pray to, universe, source, God, whatever you pray to. Just that gratitude is like a prayer. And I believe that whenever you are in gratitude, that basically all your prayers should be that way. They should all be thanking. They shouldn't be asking for things, except for maybe opportunities to open up. Or like I heard yesterday that, anytime that you're manifesting, it should be basically just asking for the opportunities to show up in your life. It is still up to you to take action. So I do believe we were given a choice for a reason. So that way we are the ones that actually have to create whatever we want in our lives. And the second part of our subconscious mind is belief in ourself. So all of those traumas, all of those things that happened when you were a kid, usually before the age of 10, are stored in your subconscious, and it creates yourself. It creates your identity. It creates who you are. It creates who you have become. And so the idea of who you have become is it's all based on all of that stuff that's stuck, right? So what we want to do is kind of like the whole limiting beliefs and get rid of a lot of that stuff so we can figure out who we want to be moving forward. So whenever we talk about like the past identity, that is who we were even as yesterday, right? Every single day you get to wake up and have a new identity for that day, right? So you can make yourself better every single day. Even if it's waking up 5 minutes earlier to meditate or journal, every single day you can create a new identity. And that really cool thing is the more habits you create, the more discipline you have, the more your identity is going to be shaped into who you truly want to become. So what the whole idea here is, in a couple of sentences, write down how you're currently showing up in the world. How are you currently showing up? Are you showing up the way you want to? Are you showing up as a confident man or woman that you're wanting to show up as? Are you dressing the way that you want to? Are you eating the way that you want to? Are you exercising the way that you want to? Kind of like, you can even think back to that whole wheel of life, right? Where are you showing up in all of those areas as you want to be showing up? And so the whole idea here is that conscious awareness. So I will give you just a minute or two to write down how you are currently showing up in the world. All right. So the second part of this is in a couple of sentences, write down how you want to show up in the world. So are you getting ready and getting dressed every day, or are you working out in the morning? What are you doing every day, and how are you showing up in the world whenever you are being and living the exact life that you want to be living? Whenever you have that peace, whenever you have that freedom, what are you doing? I still struggle with this for sure, because when I think about my future identity, I'm waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I am working out. I'm drinking water before I drink coffee and working out. And then I'm eating a great breakfast. And then I get to work and do the things I want to do. It's like, what are you wanting to do every day too, right? Like, what is your perfect day look like? So that's part of who you're showing up as. I want to be the person that is ready to go every single morning, hair, makeup done, all that. But most of the time I end up like, okay, well, if I work out this morning, then I can't necessarily like get ready and get showered and do all of this and, get my kid to school and do all the things. And so it's like just creating that discipline of, okay, I have to get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock every single morning and get my stuff done. And again, have a little bit more grace for yourself on the days that it doesn't happen. But I definitely have a good list of what it looks like showing up in the world that I want to live in and what my perfect day is like. So all of those things shape your identity and who you are. Does anybody want to talk about how they want to show up in the world? Perfectly fine if you don't. I get it. The
I think
second,
ultimately consistency.
consistency. Is that what you said?
Yeah, very similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
just consistently following through with what a lot of the things I've already got lined out from a day-to-day perspective. It is just follow through, and I mean, there's pockets of it, but obviously other things take hold, and before you know it, you're kind of off track. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's like, showing up for, you have to figure out that balance of showing up for yourself and showing up for other people. We talk about that a lot. It's
yeah,
like just figuring
definitely.
out showing up for you. We could go back to the whole idea of the oxygen mask and, making sure that you have your mask on first. It's like the other day, whenever, we go kayaking and it's like, okay, well, who gets in first? Do you take care of yourself first? Do you put your life jacket on first? Yes. You put your life jacket on first, because if you're not here, nobody's going to be able to take care of the other people like you can in your life anyways. So that all goes back to the whole idea of self-love, which we are going to talk about tomorrow, and all the different ways of how to be able to love yourself more and more. So we will finish up with a visualization. And this is what I visualize as one of my perfect days, sitting in this beautiful turquoise water, paddleboarding with my love. That is what I picture. So I'm going to take you guys through a guided visualization. So hopefully you are in a quiet environment where you can sit, again, because this will be similar to a meditation where you will want to have your eyes closed so that way you can use your imagination. And I believe that our imagination is a direct gift from God, and it is Him flowing through us. And so whenever you are doing this visualization, just really let your mind go and just listen to my words and Focus on, if you need to focus on your breath, but focus on who you really want to become, okay? So I'm gonna have you guys close your eyes and sit where you are, okay? Take a deep breath. All right, begin by closing your eyes, sitting where you are, allowing yourself to fully experience your feelings. Find a relaxing, comfortable position in your chair or laying down, with your arms and legs uncrossed to allow a free flow of energy. Focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. While you're exhaling, release any fears, worries, or doubts with each exhaling breath. Let go of any heaviness you may have as you exhale. Now, on the screen of your mind, visualize your ideal life. Imagine yourself as the most empowered version of you, with your heart filled with joy and love. See yourself proud of who you have become. How do you feel? Who have you become? How are you showing up in the world? Look around and observe what this new, empowered version of you has in life. Who is around you? Where are you living? What business do you have? What are you celebrating? Are you celebrating yourself and your accomplishments? How are you feeling? What is the feeling you feel? Notice the things that were once on your vision board, but are now part of your daily life. Feel the emotions associated with experiencing time freedom, financial freedom, and all the experiences you desired. Do you feel light, joyful, and excited? Are you happy and at peace? Reflect on how it feels to live this new life. As you look around, consider what you are grateful for. Are you thankful for the people who have supported you along the way? Are you grateful for the choices you made to become the best version of yourself? Appreciate the courage it took to overcome your deepest fears and choose love instead. Finally, express gratitude for yourself and the journey you've undertaken. How do you feel? What are the feelings behind this? And when you are ready, gently bring yourself back to the present moment. So the really, really cool thing about visualization is that, again, your brain doesn't know that this isn't currently happening. So when you're sitting in a feeling of love, joy, bliss, happiness, your brain doesn't know that it's not happening right now in this very moment. So what happens is whatever you believe in, again, your creator hears this, right? It hears it, it feels it, and it just brings the things to you faster, right? So you're able to manifest the things whenever you can sit in a feeling. And I will tell you that I am 100% proof of this. Whenever I was starting my visualization techniques, I was visualizing having this beautiful, amazing man in my life. And what happened was I was sitting in my meditation chair, doing a visualization, feeling the feeling of what it would be like once he arrived. So I and I did this for a long time, right? It was probably a good year. And I would tell my friends, I know for 100% fact that this man is going to show up in my life. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be everything I ever wanted and asked for. And so this is how I know that manifestation works, is that he's here. He has arrived. He's on this call right now, right? So it's like he showed up. And I had a list and I visualized how I was going to feel. I was visualized how I was going to make him feel. And so it's one of those things that now I get to share my life with this person. So right now it's like manifesting the life of your dreams, whatever that includes. Visualization, I believe, is going to be one of the biggest, best, most empowering like keys to you becoming who you want to be, because you are sitting in a feeling of gratitude. You're grateful for yourself. You're grateful for you have become. You're feeling that peace, the love, the joy. So this is super powerful stuff in manifesting what you want to see in your life. So if there's no questions, we will end that for today. And tomorrow we will start talking about having an abundance of love. So that, if does anybody have any questions or comments or anything for today?
Nope, just always enjoy the content. Fantastic.
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great afternoon.